Hello again. The overwhelming majority of people in Britain, between 97 and 98% according to the latest figures, are heterosexual. Gay people and bisexuals make up around 3% of the population at most. Other minority sexual interests are almost as popular as being gay. For instance, 1.8% of people engage in sadomasochistic practices, including bondage. Some practices are more common than either homosexuality or S&M. In the last month, over 70% of British males have masturbated, and around 40% of females too. However, we are not likely to see police cars decorated with flags or symbols which celebrate either masturbation or sadomasochism. This is something which is restricted solely to homosexuality. In the same way, there are not, to my knowledge, any annual events where people march through the streets proclaiming their pride in playing with themselves or flogging their husbands. We have annual gay pride marches, though, even though this is not something in which almost 98% of us have the least interest. At risk of labouring the point, dogging too is pretty popular. There are lay-bys and car parks in nearby Epping Forest which are busy most evenings with couples swapping partners and engaging in outdoor sex. You don't see people celebrating that either, or advertising that this is the kind of thing they like getting up to. I think it's fair to say that most of us, by which I mean heterosexuals, have little interest and not the slightest animosity towards those who wish to go dogging or go to bed with somebody of the same sex, or who masturbate or like to spank each other for fun. Why should we care about other people's sexual activities? I think I'm also right in supposing that if we started seeing badges and symbols in our local hospital which extolled the virtues of sadomasochism and bondage, then we might ask ourselves if this was really quite a thing. If our local supermarket started putting up posters promoting the joys of dogging, then we might in the same way raise our eyebrows, I fancy. What about a march down the high road by people desperately keen to tell us that they masturbated regularly? Would anybody find that weird? Yet we have now grown so used to the concept of gay pride that we are happy to see rainbow flags going up in railway stations, hospitals and shops, to say nothing of police cars advertising their enthusiasm for this concept. One may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. I have not the least idea why this should be so, but I cannot say I'm at all keen on it. It is part of a trend which I've noticed in a broader sense, whereby some minority or other has its interests elevated above that of the majority of the population, who are expected to acquiesce with the situation and behave as though the minority is more important than they are. So it is that around 85% of the people in Britain are white heterosexuals, but we know that white heterosexuals are not really seen as being all that important for advertisers or anybody else. We are the majority, and yet we're often treated as though there's something dodgy about us, simply because we're not homosexual, black or Muslim. This is an odd state of affairs, and I'm not altogether sure how we reach such a point. I've published a short piece on my Substack account which deals with this subject as well, and I give a link to it in the description to this video. It's free to read.